All right. The Titans lose. How's everybody doing? Welcome in to the A to Z Sports YouTube channel. I am smiling through the pain as the Titans just subjected us all to roughly 3 hours on the nose, a little under 3 hours actually. That was merciful of them to at least keep it to a short game because it was an efficient butt whooping at the hands of the Raiders. Final score of 20-10 was not even as close as the final score reflected. One garbage time touchdown. First career touchdown, by the way, to David Martin Robinson. So shout out that guy. Man, just a putrid performance by the offense. Defensive performance, which was fine, still allowed 20 points to a miserable Raiders offense. But for the majority of that game, the defense did their job and the offense refused to show up. And as the title of our show says, this game pretty firmly solidifies last week's Titans win in Arizona as a fluke. And we talked about how the win itself was a fluke because it took so much for them to be able to get back in the game from a score perspective. But we were optimistic all week about how those final three drives might be a harbinger for things to come. The progress this offense has made, you saw it there at the end of the game. Here, they're going to carry it into the – no, they're not. The Titans' offense was sorry. It looked pretty fine in that 1 2-minute drive because in 2-minute offense with cloud coverage and cushion from the defense and a lot of base concepts that everybody's comfortable with, you're going to look a little better usually. Most teams look pretty good in 2-minute offense from time to time. So I don't know. I don't know what else there's to say. We're gonna lean heavily on you guys' comments today in the comments section. We're gonna get through this show together. We won't keep you here too long. And then we'll get out of here and we'll regroup in the morning for the Monday morning show with Zach and Austin. I'm Easton. He's JT. JT, let's dive into the muck and mire once you tell everybody what they need to do.
Yeah, good to see all of you guys after that. I'm sure this will be more productive than anything the Titans offense did today, and we cannot do that without your help. Make sure you like the show. Let's see if we can get more likes than yards the Titans had on offense.
Oh, what's that
I have
number?
no idea.
It's actually way too many.
It's way too many? Okay, well, let's try to get those likes in no matter what anyways, because we do appreciate them. They help flood the algorithm, do all the things that you need to do to see, get other Titans fans in here to vent and be angry about this team and the performance they put out there today. Make sure you're also subscribed to the A to Z Sports YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our Titans content either on the weekend or throughout the week. If you're on Facebook, make sure you like that show, make sure you like the page, and hit that share button. Share with a Titans fan who needs to vent after a 20-10 abysmal performance. And with that, Easton, it's time to get going.
Yep, well, let's welcome everybody into the A to Z Sports Postgame show live from the Landshark Bar and Grill on the second floor of Margaritaville on 4th and Broadway here in downtown Nashville. Shout out to Traveler Whiskey and Miller Lite for game day drink specials all season long. We're brought to you by X Golf in Nashville, Murfreesboro, Hermitage, and now open in Franklin, the home of indoor golf in Middle Tennessee. X Golf, play, train, entertain. PlayXGolf.com is where you can go to book your bay today. BTA Sports, use code ATOZ14 when you download the BTA Sports app to get a 14-day free trial before a weekly subscription of $9.99. Use the link in our show description. It's the easiest way to sign up on the BTA Sports app today. Botero Karts, life is short. Buy a golf cart with our friends at Botero Karts with 2 locations to serve you in Columbia and in Gallatin, BoteroKarts.com. Lipscomb University Sports Analytics program. They're turning sports fans into data-driven decision makers in the exciting world of professional athletics, thanks to them. And finally, thanks to the Barrel Social Club. The Kentucky Poker Open returns to the Barrel Social Club this month. Check out thebarrelsocialclub.com for more info. JT, this is tough spot for everybody here. Tough spot for you and I. Tough spot for the Titans. I don't know. What's on your mind?
I don't. It's hard to blame any one person. Like, yes,
yeah, they all sucked.
Yeah, fire Callahan, sure. The offensive scheme looked terrible. Bo Hardigree has not done anything more productive for this team, and potentially, I think even I'm not afraid to say maybe regressed how this offense has looked a little bit.
From a play calling standpoint, not a thing has changed.
Yeah, nothing has changed.
Sure glad they did that, though. Sure glad.
Nothing has changed, nor has it looked maybe as consistent as it did even before that. You look on the defensive side of the ball, like you said, they were fine. But once again, you just still did not, it wasn't enough. And I know the defense played their heart out today, and it was good. But you looked at how they started out, too. I think you could see elements of them starting off slow today as well. And I think that's, also ties into how this team just continues to not know how to start football games. You look at Cam Ward. As much as I want to say blame Brian Callahan for a lot of in the staff for this play calling, can't believe Brian Callahan made Cam Ward fumble that ball like he did at the end. Like, how dare Brian Callahan?
Or the first time?
Or the first time. How dare he make him fumble like that? Cam Ward continues to not play fundamentally sound football from a actual quarterback and technique perspective. It's just all bad, and there's no one place to put blame, and I think it's really just where we are right now.
Basically, everything about this team either is bad and has been bad, or has regressed to now be bad, with very few exceptions. Jeffrey Simmons, very good, obviously, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Tony Pollard. And now Tajay Spears back in the run game when they were running the ball between the tackles.
Fine.
Pretty good.
Not terrible, but yeah.
Certainly nothing you point at and say, there's the problem with this team. No, you can win with that level of running. It's fine. Special teams continue to be fine, although, I feel like I felt a little regression today. Not a lot of push in the return game. Yes. The kicks were, the kicking game was what it was. Nothing to write home about on that front. But in terms of getting a push in the run game, it felt like DK was swallowed up quite a bit. The offensive line just had me feelingless all game. I did not know what to think or to say about the healthy Titans offensive line that I think has so much promise on paper, that I think has very few excuses. I wrote about it coming into the season that our expectations for this group should be high, because this is a group that is good enough to be worthy of be demanding of those expectations, and they've not been met even a little bit in the one game that they've now played healthy together. J.C. Latham looked rusty against we talked about very tough assignment with Max Crosby, but did not look good.
But even outside those, a lot of what happened, sure, Max Crosby beat J.C. Latham a few times, but what about the simple knowing your assignments? You talk about the first fumble where they're just the linebacker was simply not blocked because no one picked up the assignment. Those are things that, from a fundamentally sound standpoint from playing football, should not be rust-related type things.
No, you're right. And there was more than one moment in that game where I saw Lloyd Cushenberry and Kevin Zeitler looking at each other or looking at other members of the offensive line with confusion on their face. So there's a lot of questions to be answered there. There's a lot of questions to be answered about Cam Ward, who seems to be, stepping in the wrong direction still. Each week I feel worse about Cam Ward. I don't know how else to quantify it besides each week. Week 1, they lost to the Broncos 20-12. I felt pretty daggum good about Cam Ward coming out of that game. I said after that game that I kind of feel like Cam Ward is already clearly one of the top 32 quarterbacks in the world. He's already established himself as a starting caliber quarterback. And today, I don't know, I need to think about it and distance myself from this game, but I don't feel nearly as good about it. I won't say that I'll take it back, but man, it's tough. We're in a tough spot. Let's consult the audience here. Let's get you guys involved. Shout out to our friends here at the Landshark Bar and Grill and Travelers Whiskey and Miller Lite for their deals they got going on here for game days. We really, really, really have loved being here for game days. It's just a shame the Titans haven't given us a decent thing to watch. But frankly, from a cynical standpoint, there's been plenty of other things to watch because every game on the planet is up on multiple screens all around us. So I have found my gaze traveling to, look, a fun game. Let me enjoy a fun game for a couple minutes in between Titans commercial breaks. That's been the vibe here at the Landshark Bar and Grill, and I really can't recommend it enough, even though the Titans aren't giving you a whole lot of fun to watch here. They're awesome, and the deals from Miller Lite and Traveler Whiskey are fantastic as well on game days. Let's ask the question, what one word people have to describe the Titans' loss to the Raiders is? What's your one word to describe the Titans' loss to the Raiders? JT, do you have a word? Because I have a word. You want me to go ahead?
I have one too. I can go first. It's just draining. That's my word, draining.
Like the life out of you?
Yeah, I feel nothing when watching this Titans team at this point.
Yeah. It's not even frustrating anymore.
It's bad football. It doesn't even look like professional football at sometimes.
On offense, at least, yes.
On offense, at least, yes, correct. And it's hard to like figure out and diagnose, especially 15 minutes after whatever that was. It's hard to figure out what exactly went wrong or what is going wrong or what the problem is, because it's so hard to know exactly what's going on throughout the week in terms of preparation, because this is the first week. I will give a lot of people credit and say the Titans just didn't look like they were coached a lot of the time. And I don't feel like weird saying that. They looked like they didn't know what they were doing or what they were supposed to be doing at some times. And ultimately, on the offensive side of the ball and on the defensive side of the ball. And that comes down to coaching. And I just, at this point, it makes me wonder a lot about what the preparation looks like. Because make no mistake, this was, if the Titans weren't the worst team in the NFL, this was the team that was contending with you. Well, I guess outside the Jets, but like those three, this is one of the three teams contending to be the worst team in all of the NFL. And you just got manhandled by them. And not only manhandled, but like against a team that has a veteran head coach, things like that. Like, I think absolutely this is a team that just, it drains me. It drains me.
My one word is something that I'll say once I read the comments. How about that for suspense? Let's get to some of the comments here. Let's read as many of these as we can. A lot of comments of ass. I'm not going to say ass 1,000 times on the show. So if you said that, let it be known that yours was the top comment because I saw it a bunch of times. Got it? Cool. We're moving on from that word. Next word. Regression from Cause66. Playbook from Richie G. I guess he wants a better playbook, or maybe he thinks that was a playbook game by the Titans, as in very Titans of them, very bad of them. Drunk from Fabian. I don't know. Drunk, usually things that are drunk are a lot more entertaining than that was. That felt sober in a sadistic way almost. I wish it was a little bit more drunk so it would at least have something to laugh at. Lamentable. That's a good word. I like that, Briggs. I like that a lot. Ruined, says Jeff. Expected, says Curtis. My least favorite word that people say on the post-game show. Expected is a dumb one word. Don't use it. Sorry, Curtis, but you can be better. Sad from Rick. Reality from Will. A real reality check. That feels appropriate. Bumbled. Callahan in all caps. Reality again. Deflation. Another expected from John. Bad word, John. I'm going to call you out on it. Demoralizing from B-Birds on Twitch. Inept. Defense was the only good part of the game.
Maybe he's looking for
the silver lining. Okay, there we go. Meh from Rotary Perfection. Laughable from Turd Ferguson. Acceptance. That's
just
crazy.
Accepted how bad it is.
Ward in all caps. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'd imagine a bad thing. Predictable from Taylor. Lost from Ron. Yes, good job describing the loss as a loss.
Is predictable the same as expected?
It's in the same family. Yeah. I don't appreciate that one either, to be honest with you. Let's see. Callahan, pathetic, rough. Another expected from Alex. Bad word, Alex. Exhausting, losers, boring, bummer. Another expected from Michael. Bad word, Michael. Oh, here's a good one. Emetic, substance-inducing vomiting.
That's a good one.
That's a good word. I didn't know that word, but that's a good one, Adam. Vrabel, the Vrabel man Loomis.
Yes.
From catastrophic, which is a crazy way to spell the word catastrophic. Directionless from Austin. Yes, utterly rudderless. Directionless. Exhausted. Similar to what we've seen. Fair enough. All right, monotonous. Good one. Org, as an organization, as an organizational failure, perhaps. Darkness. Yeah, darkness is a good one. Mine is numb, which is, I would hand up, not a great word on my part, but it is how I feel. I can be better. But you know what? I don't feel particularly compelled to do better than that on a day when the Titans do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Who am I to have to put forth a serious one-word effort if the Titans are going to give us that to watch? So numbness is what consumes me, as does you. And I just, retrogression. I don't know.
Interesting.
I think he's combining retrograde and regression. I don't think retrogression is a word, but I appreciate the wordplay anyways from Tony. So yeah, I don't like. This is why it's a tough spot. I don't have much more to say besides This team is, yes, it is bad, it is horrible, it is ass, it is trash, it seems to be regressing at times in places. It seems to be uncoached in places. It seems to be directionless a lot of the time. It makes me numb. It makes me sick. It makes me want to induce vomiting in an emetic fashion, which is a new word that we just learned. It's all of those things. I have no other things to say about how the team makes me feel.
Yeah, and also it's, once again, I think another good word is like it's not one word, but this Titans team has not followed up on any of its promises. They've talked about how the screen game has to get going and get better. It worked just a little bit last week, but you look at what they did today. Today, I think this is one of the worst screen games they've had in maybe a season.
This team blows at screens.
Yeah.
Yes.
You look at the.
I can't wait. I'm so sorry to cut you off. Tomorrow at the top, during the game, I keep a list of film like to go cut in the morning. I'm cutting every one of them screens. We're going to have a super cut that will be emetic tomorrow. It will induce vomiting on a Monday morning.
Yes. You also talk about the promise that this team was going to follow up this week with a statement, not be like it was.
Oh, it was a statement,
Washington.
all right. The statement was, we are still the Titans.
Yes. It wasn't exactly. You weren't getting beat by the run game. I will give them credit. They were stout in that run department. Sorry for your longest rush.
Vegas does it again.
But they also just didn't look. They looked kind of the same way. The lifelessness that you saw last year is the same. This team cannot win a game without it being drunk, like that comment said. And I think, yeah, it's just bad at this point.
Let's talk about the thing in the game. I'm kind of making up a segment because peek behind the curtain. This is where we usually talk about the drive of the game.
Yes.
There's no drive we're talking about. So I would like to ask you, and we can ask folks in the comments to chime in on this. What is the thing that drove you the most crazy? As I tell you about a Botero cart that you can drive, courtesy of our friends at Botero Carts. So what is the thing that drove you the most crazy? Write that down too, because we'll use that in the future when the Titans continue to disappoint us. Speaking of driving, Botero Carts, check them out here with 2 locations in the Middle Tennessee area. You can go to Columbia or to Gallatin, and they will hook you up with 0% financing for 36 months on carts starting at $6,800. They're open 7 days a week. They are a full service, sales, and rental dealership, locally owned and operated here in the Middle Tennessee area. Life is short. Buy a golf cart from our friends with no dealer fee, no credit card fees, no credit needed options at BoteroCarts.com. Life is short. Buy a golf cart at Botero Carts. JT, what are the comments chiming in with as the thing that drove them the most crazy about the Titans today?
I think this one is a very good one from King JP. No up-tempo until the late fourth quarter when, of course, they had to. But it seems that Cam has thrived on that when the defense is not able to get fully set. You saw him look good when they have to play a little bit on their heels, except this offense, when they don't play up-tempo or towards the end of the game, never is able to even get them on their heels. So it doesn't even matter at that point, So I think that is a big one. That it drives me crazy that they do not decide to try that even earlier in the game, in the slightest. The screens from Jama says that's what drives him the most craziest. Trey Clifton says Cam Ward mistakes. They're getting egregious. I believe that's what that word is.
I've never
right
seen the
there.
word egregious abbreviated in a Gen Z way, but
screen passes at the end says Cause 66. I think that one is a good one. Zenzi says inept O-line, hard to evaluate with a rotating door. I think that's where I am as well. Drives me the craziest that you finally get the offensive line the healthiest that they've been all season, before even going back to week 1 where J.C. Latham was not fully healthy.
Against a much better pass rush.
Sure.
In Denver.
Yes.
Much better than what the Raiders have to
exactly.
offer.
I mean, they made Tyree Wilson look good, which I think is very hard to do.
I remembered who Tyree Wilson was today.
Exactly.
And I talked a lot about him for many months, not very long ago.
Yes. And so, for them to look as bad as they did, I think drives me crazy because that's unacceptable. Tighten Up 2 says Cam Ward is driving him crazy with some of the turnovers. I don't think you're wrong to think that as well. Cam Ward says Cam himself making the dumbest decisions at the worst times. I think that is worthy of being driven crazy. The dumb fumbles says Donald as well. Ryan Fields just says straight up, Cam Ward being our quarterback drives him crazy, which is funny. We're 6 games in, and we're starting to have the narrative where people are starting to turn on Cam Ward, which granted, I knew it would be coming, but I'm glad that we're already here. That's great for business. The penalty on Jones on 3rd and 14 in the second half should have been a punt. Absolutely. I tweeted out as well that even when the Titans get after Geno Smith and sack him, they can't do that right either, which is crazy. So those are a lot of them here that I think.
My answer is the offensive line, as somebody said. It is. I'm beaten down by waiting and waiting and waiting. Like I'm sure it will get better because I still believe in the talent of these guys. But in the moment right now, my emotions are just defeat over a group that I'm at the point where if this group of talent can't get it together for a Titans pass protection unit, like this should be one of the better offensive lines in the league.
Yes.
It's how I felt the whole time. I've refrained from saying it because you don't want to take baby steps and not get ahead of yourself and all these things. 5 for 5 across the offensive line. They are better than half of the league. They should be. On paper, they are. They are more talented. So for them to be playing at that level against the Raiders is miserable. That's what drove me crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to get to some of these super chats?
Yes, please.
Let's get to some of these super chats.
Actually, go ahead and pull up those super chats.
Okay.
Let me shout out a friend of ours here. Because we're going to talk about our X Factors here in a minute, but I'm not sure there's a whole lot to say about the X Factors. X Golf Nashville, though, is who brings us this next segment. Check out X Golf for all of your needs, the home of indoor golf. Here in Middle Tennessee, they have 4 locations for your convenience in Murfreesboro, Nashville, Hermitage, and now open in Franklin, the home of indoor golf. X Golf, play, train, entertain. PlayXGolf.com is where you need to go today to book your bay. They've reinvented the player experience by creating the most accurate indoor golf simulators on the market today, giving every person the power to take on the world's top courses, compete in a wide variety of game formats, and improve their swing with lessons and superior analytics, all while being totally entertained. New Monday Night Football leagues are starting later this fall, so come compete for prizes and bragging rights while watching Monday Night Football on one of their 10 big screen TVs. You can find league details at playxgolf.com. Also great for any corporate events, Christmas parties you have coming up. Check them out, playxgolf.com. All right, JT, let's read some super chats, and then we'll talk about our X Factors.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get to this one first. I think, once again, TLG calls this offense a Timu-like offense.
Yeah.
They look dysfunctional.
Good call, TLG.
King VC says that we do not have legit weapons. This play calling is a legit issue. Lock in, like the show. Absolutely. Thank you, King VC. Lock in. Make sure to like the show as well. I agree. Calvin Ridley does not help this offense. Not being out there, he doesn't help the offense. TLG says, WTF for coaches and players seeing in practice that makes them believe they'll look like pros on Sunday. It's not working. I agree. This is going back to the first thing. This is the first week where I said the coaching is a massive problem at this point. Because it doesn't look like they know what they're doing out there at this point. Tim Mills, no comment, but the $1.99. We appreciate you there.
Thanks, Tim.
And Amnesia says, what happened to Bryce Oliver? Haven't seen him any. That's because he's inactive. He is hurt. So
he probably. He'd been getting the Van Jefferson snaps today.
I don't know how much of the needle he would push. And once again, I want to also say this. Listen, Xavier Estrepo is not going to push the needle any more than Bryce Oliver is.
Okay, fine, but I guess you and I see it differently. At this point, cut Tyler Lockett and get Restrepo up. That's where I'm at. I don't find Restrepo as any more miserable an option out there than Lockett at this point as a slot option.
I get Lockett cannot catch the ball, but at least Lockett is getting on the route.
He's not. He can't get open. He can't make a play on the ball. He's not a threat as a screen option. What does he do for you? What does he do for Cam?
For Lockett? What does he do?
He's a barely warm body out there.
I think he creates the correct spacing on a lot of the routes they want. I'm not saying they're good, but that's what he's out there to do. I don't know what Xavier Restrepo would do any more than Tyler Lockett.
I'm not even saying. I am not saying that I think Restrepo would be some revelation. I'm saying he might have a future in the league. He's a decade younger than him. Get him in there. Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's small potatoes. It's not going to matter either way, but that's where I'm at. And it's partially because I cannot stand watching Analytical play football right now. He's unplayable. He's unplayable.
Okay.
And
fair enough.
Okay. What were our X factors? Mine was JC Latham. Double thumbs down. You failed. That's stunk.
Mine was. Oh, sorry. Were you
No,
done?
no.
We've already.
And once more, that was bad. And I expect better next week.
Yeah. My X factor was the defense stopping Ashton Genty.
What was that final stat line?
I think not terrible.
Genty, 75 yards on 23 attempts, 3.3 yards on average.
I'll take that. I will take that.
How many weeks have we, at the end of the show, or at the end of the game, on the show, said, if I'd have told you before the game that this happened, you probably would have thought they had a chance. If I'd have told you before the game they held Genty to 3.3 yards per carry, we probably would have felt pretty decent about that game.
Yeah, I think the defense played well against the run defense. I think when they were not getting after Geno Smith, though, that's the problem. Trey Tucker and Michael Mayer ate them up. I know I got some flack for saying that I disagreed with like Cody Barton being the fix at the linebacker position in the offseason. I'm once again rethinking that as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm bringing that back up. That I think Cody Barton is a problem. But the defense, at least for my X factor, started to play good against Ashton Genty. So.
Yeah. Okay, what's next? Let's keep checking things off and keep getting the audience involved. Let's talk. How about little Cam talk? Let's get to his stat line and grade his performance in the Titans' loss to the Raiders. Let me tell you first about our friends at BTA Sports. This segment is brought to you by BTA Sports. They're better for bettors. We appreciate BTA Sports for helping inform our betting. They're a AI-driven delivery tool for data-driven NFL picks, tools, and projections. It's an app on your phone built for serious fans and smart investors, smart bettors who are investing in themselves as bettors, I might add. If you want to bet smarter this season, BTA gives you the edge with machine learning models from player props to parlays. BTA's platform helps you spot value and make sharper plays. Whether you're a casual or a junkie, BTA's tools break down the numbers so you can trust your gut and the data. Check them out. BTA Sports. Use code ATOZ14 when you download the BTA Sports app to get a 14-day free trial before a weekly subscription of $9.99. Use the link in the show description. Let me consult our friend Jack on Instagram, who once again sent us the grades from the past couple of weeks. Jack Longley, keep it up, young man. A cookie in the mail is in your future.
It's not. Don't listen to that.
It could be. You'll never know if you don't finish the season out. You're doing a great job. On Sundays, I get my message in my inbox from Jack, and I know that at least somebody's on top of it today, even if the Titans aren't. We are through 5 weeks at C- in week 1, C- in week 2, C- in week 3, F- D- in week 4, and B- last week from you and I in that order. Before we go to the comments for grades, let me review Cam's stat line. Cam Ward, 26 of 38 for 222 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, a surprisingly high 81.2 quarterback rating, was responsible for 2 fumbles, 2 lost fumbles, and 1 interception. That was a tipped pass. How many times was he sacked today? Because he doesn't not play a role in that. Why is it not on this? Sacks? Hello?
Oh, well. I mean...
I'll find him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You want me to go first with mine?
Well, let's see what the chat has to say.
We'll start with the chat here. Gary kicks us off and says F. COS says F-. Tighten Up says D+. F. Fabian just says DNP. Doesn't get a grade because of
That's crazy.
Shane says F. Mike Peck says D-. Zenzi says F. Brandon says F. D+, F+, C, he can't do it all. D+, consider he is a rookie. F-, D, Toby says F period, F, F+, F, D, F, D- with a bunch of minuses there. D, D, D-. So we're sitting at the D. I'd say the average is probably a D-.
Okay, where were you on that game?
I'm an F. I'm back.
Another
to,
F. 2 Fs in 6 weeks.
It was
right?
bad. It was. If it wasn't the looking downfield and things like that, seeing the field, if it wasn't that and the footwork, it was simply just not being able to secure the ball. The one thing that, above all else, you need to do as the quarterback was not good. I don't want to go too far into this and say it was his fault because it's like the kind of play style that he plays with and how he's currently sitting in the pocket, but I think that does lead to some of the reasons why he had those fumbles. He just also missed a lot of the deep balls today. There were a couple that may have been there. Now, I don't know if the wide
his
receivers...
deep ball is not good.
No.
Can I say that? His deep ball's not good.
Yeah.
It wasn't a strength of his in college, so this is not like something super new. But it's been really bad so far. I've not been impressed.
Yeah, I just think he did more to hurt your team today as well. And I understand the play calling could have been better, sure. With a different regime, could it have been better? Sure. But I think what he did by himself today, and also holding onto the ball so long that you then try to throw it away and it gets tipped and intercepted. I'm not obviously putting it all on him because obviously it gets tipped. But you look at how long he held on to that ball. It's unacceptable. Like, if it's not there, you know where you are at the end of that half. You know you need 3 points there. You throw it away as soon as you can. Take the points and get on with your life there. It's a lot of things that Cam Ward, even as a rookie, just is struggling to comprehend and do correctly. And so I think for that, it has to be an F.
And by the way, he was sacked 6 times for 62 yards. So I have not checked, but I'm going to go ahead and assume Cam Ward is going to retain the league-wide sack leader total for another week because of that. I'll go with a D- just because my rubric requires my Fs to be because the quarterback single-handedly cost the game. And as you pointed out at the top of the show, I can't say that because there was so much else that was bad that was going on. So I'll say D-. A lot of these, I want to go back and how many of those yards were from the final garbage time 2-minute drill? Like, they count. I'm not saying they don't count, but you're in a situation where you're down a couple of scores. It's late in the game. The Raiders are just trying to get out of there and keep the clock moving. I don't have a whole lot of good things to say about Cam Ward from that game at all.
Yeah,
at all.
It was bad. Do you think this was his worst game he's played, or would you say the one against the Colts was his worst?
That's where you find out about all their adventures and what they're doing next.
This game, because with the Colts, it really felt like a quarter or a half. And the second half, he was kind of bailed out by the fact that they were down the whole time, bad, and were trailing and playing a trailing defense. But in this one, it was kind of wire to wire, truly, truly bad.
I also think this comment here as well. Please give Cam an O-line and some weapons. I mean, what else do you want from him? They've invested more assets into the NFL, into the offensive line in the NFL than maybe every other team, and it just has not worked. And some of it is on that offensive line. Other parts of it have been Cam willingly taking those sacks because of how long he's holding onto the ball and where he's drifting into the pocket. So I'm not going to say that get him an offensive line and everything changes, because I just refuse to believe that that's true.
I agree. Let's continue to read some chats and kind of put a bow on this before we get out of here with an analytical view of the game. But let me tell you about our friends at the Barrel Social Club. The Barrel Social Club, the Kentucky Poker Open, I believe may have just happened, or did it? Let me check here to see whether it's finished or not. The social club is not shut down. The social club still exists. You can go there and play poker. The event may have ended. What is today? The 12th? The Poker Open ended today. So I'm sorry, you missed the Poker Open. I hear it was a blast. But you can still go play poker any day of the week at the Barrel Social Club in Kentucky. It's just 45 minutes north of Nashville, straight up 65. It's 15 minutes south of Bowling Green. The countdown, a lot of this read is about the
Kentucky
Poker Open. It's really hard to think in here. It's quite loud. They got cash games every day on their tables. Poker tables, live betting going on at the Barrel Social Club at all times. They got a dozen poker tables available that they run other tournaments on during the week. 16 TVs, including the biggest screen to watch the games in Franklin, Kentucky. Wow, so the biggest screen in the entire city, open daily till 4 a.m. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just learning the games, there's a seat for you at the Barrel Social Club. Check them out, 45 minutes north of Nashville. JT.
I want to say something real quick.
Oh,
because people are going crazy in the chat. I don't know if you just didn't hear me, but with this comment, the get Cam Ward some O-line and weapons. Easton, did you hear me say one thing about the weapons? I didn't say one thing about the weapons. I talked about how he does have the offensive line to succeed. I did not say once that the weapons are okay for Cam. I'm not refuting that Cam is suffering because of the weapons that he has. That is not true whatsoever. He is suffering very much because of the weapons he has around him. No Calvin Ridley, relying on an Elikai Manor, who's a 4th-round rookie, not going to work. Van Jefferson and Tyler Lockett also not going to work. I'm saying that the offensive line that you put around Cam Ward, you've invested some of the most capital in that offensive line out of any team in the NFL. And it should be working, but it isn't. So my question to you...
It was for 2 weeks. This week it fell apart. That's why I'm befuddled. I don't know.
My question to the chat then is, what else would you want from them? They have 2 first-round picks. They bring in the highest paid left tackle this past offseason, which was the highest commodity on the market. They go get Kevin Zeitler as a veteran. Like, that is investing in your offensive line and investing in your quarterback. The weapons are an entirely different story. But to say here that you need Cam Ward needs to get a better offensive line, I think is not the issue here.
Yeah, I agree. Do you... There's going to be a lot of talk this week, as there was last week, about, like, I don't get, and, as some folks in the comments have already said, as King JP said, no up-tempo until the late 4th quarter. What's going on there? It's not nothing that this team and this quarterback looks better in those circumstances. But I think we're leaning into it too much. I go, why don't they just do it all the time? There's a lot that goes into why they look the way that they do at the end of these games in 2-minute drills. The defense is playing keep you in front of me defense. They are leading, the defense usually is, by multiple scores. You can't do that out of the game. You can't do that out of the game. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's going to be leaned into maybe a little bit too much. Does this team look good in up-tempo? Does this quarterback look better in up-tempo? Yes. But I think the circumstances of the last 2 weeks have dictated that just as much as it being good for them.
I also, but to that point, you talk about up-tempo, you talk about the screen game, you talk about the things that they preach during the week. When we're talking to them in the press conferences, they say, we're going to focus more on this. And then they come out and they don't do that. So I think that's where a lot of the disconnect is. They emphasize these types of things that they need to get going for Cam Ward and this offense to work, and yet it doesn't. And I think because you're not seeing them actually do that. They're saying a bunch of things that they're not following up on. And I think that's the biggest thing for me, why it is that way. So.
Yes. Let's get to some analytics and get out of here. What do you say?
Yeah.
And we still got this wrong thing up here. My bad. All right. We're falling apart here, like the Titans are falling apart. Lipscomb Sports Analytics, they sponsor our show as well. They are creating sports professionals out of sports fans. The program is turning sports fans into data-driven decision makers in the exciting world of professional athletics. Lipscomb Sports Analytics, where data meets the game, analyze, strategize, and revolutionize. At Lipscomb, they're not just watching the game, they're changing how it's played through their innovative sports analytics program. So get off the sidelines and into the action today with Lipscomb Sports Analytics program, where you'll learn to make the calls that count. JT, let's take an analytical view of the game. What stood out to you from a numbers standpoint?
That's a great question.
You just sat there and stared into the darkness that whole time?
I really did.
Okay.
I think you talk about what they did in the first half. I guess the defense was, if there's one bright spot for this team, it's the Titans' offensive line early in this game, defensive line in this game. They, in the first half, pressured Geno Smith on half of his dropbacks. That's something we hadn't seen from this team so far. Now, whether you look at that and say, is it the smoke and mirrors of the Las Vegas Raiders being like the Las Vegas Raiders, or is that growth? Is that progression for this defensive line unit, specifically Femi Oladejo? I don't know, but it is encouraging to see the Titans pressured Geno Smith on half of his dropbacks in the first half.
I've got some numbers here. How about some pressures on Cam Ward? We got those numbers hot off the presses. The Raiders pressured Cam Ward on 16 of his 44 dropbacks, 36.4%, recorded 6 sacks. Their most sacks and highest pressure rate in a game this season. Wow. 9 different Raiders defenders recorded at least 1 pressure, with 5 defenders generating multiple pressures. Max Crosby led the team with 5 pressures and 2 sacks, and a season high, and a season high 11.9% pressure rate. When pressured, Cam Ward completed just 3 of 10 passes for 33 yards and 1 interception, resulting in a 1.2 passer rating.
Certainly something. That is certainly something.
Wow.
Yeah, just kind of put a bow on it. I do think it is. Cam Ward's worst game that he's played yet for the Titans,
and that's concerning because there's regression there, and whether that's the circumstances, whether it's his offensive line, whether it's his lack of weapons,
against probably the easiest defense
coaching,
he's going to face.
Again, whether it's the offense, the offensive staff, the coaching staff. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you what it is. I think it's a little bit of all of it, and I don't know how to cut up the blame pie right about now, but I do know that. Boy, it's a problem, and as has been said a million times for many, many years, bad organizations fail young quarterbacks more than young quarterbacks fail bad organizations. That's like running through my head on a ticker tape at the top. Just it's a scroll wheel at the top of my brain at all times now because I'm not going to start pointing fingers at Cam Ward until he's got something resembling what's the word I'm looking for? Reliability around him.
Consistency?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, well, we're going to get out of here. The Landshark Bar and Grill, we got some great music playing right now. Come and check them out. Still got the Sunday Night Football game coming up. That'll be on all the TVs in here. We really do appreciate the Landshark Bar and Grill for having us each and every Sunday. Austin and Zach will be back tomorrow morning on the A to Z Morning Show. Same place, different time. So be here on A to Z Sports YouTube or Facebook tomorrow at 8:10 Central Time for them to break down all of the misery going on. Shout out to all of our sponsors. X-Golf in Nashville, Murfreesboro, Hermitage, and Franklin, PTA Sports, Botero Cards, Lipscomb University Sports Analytics Program, and the Barrel Social Club. For JT, I'm Easton. Try to enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening.